What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of That Hobby Show. Apparently, we've been live for 20 seconds, and I didn't realize it. So, yeah, with me as always, Houston from Chasing the Graph. What's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot, man. First
Yeah,
first day off in like 7 or 8 days, something like that. So I did absolutely nothing today.
yeah. Watch a lot of football.
None. I didn't watch.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
oh, wow. Yeah. All's I like out here. We get all the shitty games or teams that I don't care about. A lot of Seahawks, 49ers, even the Cardinals, even though they're good, I don't care to watch them. Uh, yeah, and then listen to that Ravens game on the radio, which oh well. Can't win them all, but I had to listen to it on the radio, like old timey, because for some reason it wasn't on CBS out here, and yeah, before we came on, I got to see the replay, so it breaks my heart how wide open Mark Andrews was. But some big news this week coming out of MLB, the lockouts. Once again, I think on your tweet earlier this week, uh, yeah, it proves how much Manfred hates baseball and loves the owners. So, yeah. Now, what it all means, I don't know. For someone like me that likes to go get autographs and stuff like that, I think that really screws things up for me because if the lockout is going on and it's around spring training time, I'm pretty sure the players aren't allowed to go to the facility.
Yeah, they're not allowed to use the facilities at all. They can't even show up.
Yeah, so that sucks right there for someone like me, but it sucks worse for like say someone like you that lives in North Carolina and you were planning on coming to Arizona for spring training because I don't know if a lot of people know this, but spring training tickets are already on sale. So I don't know what's going to happen uh, to those games like that people have tickets to.
Yeah, from what I understand, that there is a very good chance it will affect the preseason, spring training, uh, how many games they get in, when they can show up. There's from the two articles I read, there's um, no one's really suspecting that it's going to affect the regular season, but I think people are predicting that it is going to affect the spring training and the preseason.
Yeah. The thing that worries me is that it's going to set a precedence. Uh, so you hear it all the time. Players talk about, spring training is way too long. You only need like, 3 weeks or a month to get, dialed in for the season. So I'm worried that they're going to shorten spring training. And then next year they're going to be like, well, I mean, we did it in 3 weeks last year. Let's make this the norm. Because I mean, I love being able to go to spring training for usually teams report around February 13th, February 14th. It's
Mhm.
usually Valentine's Day week. And it'll go until minor league spring training goes all the way till I want to say April.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty accurate.
yeah, now that's just with the minor leaguers. So yeah, it's going to suck, man. And it's one of those things that with the pandemic and all that, I love baseball, but I really loved it a lot less. And um, I could go about my everyday life and not really care that there wasn't any baseball. And it, I don't know. I just think this is really bad for the game, especially with people just coming back to it. I mean, I don't know if the pandemic uh, made other people feel the way I do. about baseball, but this is certainly not a way to get people back. And then the other crappy thing on top of that is fan fests. I love going to fan fests because it's a super easy time to get autographs. And usually every year we go to San Diego for the Padres fan fest. And the bad thing about that though is they do it at Petco Park. So I'm assuming that the players are also locked out of the ballparks as well to work out.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
As of 12:01 midnight Wednesday, like the press conferences, like their players are the organizations and the players are not allowed to have any contact with each other whatsoever in any way. And anybody keeping up with baseball, the Texas Rangers, shockingly so, made some big moves.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, like I almost had a heart attack when I got the push notification, saying that they had just signed Corey Seager, and I'm just like, this is like a typo. It's not Texas Rangers just signed him, but
And then
Chris,
they signed.
yeah, and their manager Chris Woodard at this point, he's not even allowed to talk about who they've signed. He can't even talk to media, and the players, as far as I know, they're not allowed to talk to the media either. So it just and Manfred basically did this lockout as in like a I'm going to get you before you get me kind of a situation because he knew what was coming. And for the last, what, 10 years now, um, the MLBPA and actual MLB haven't gotten along. And there's no, this, to me, this is, I'm kind of 60-40 about it not being surprising, but yet kind of being surprising because there's just baseball has evolved in a way that Manfred has went the opposite direction of. I feel like, and I looked at the numbers and I can't remember them specifically, but the MLB ratings over the last like 5 years have not been good,
Oh yeah,
and
they're going down.
and this year the World Series, I want to say it had like um, I want to say it was 11.5 million viewers on average when 2019's was like, I think it was like 7 million. That's a pretty big jump considering there was no baseball in 2020. And I think the Braves being in it had a lot to do with the ratings being where they were. But if it would have been, I hate to say it, if it had been like a Toronto or like a Blue Jays and like a Yankees World Series or something like that. One of those teams being in there, I don't think the ratings would have been there. And they've been kind of slipping to the NFL for a while, and the
Oh,
NFL has no issues in getting ratings, but baseball has steadily been declining.
oh yeah, no. I mean, hell, the NFL they added another game this year because the NFL is the number one sport. It is, yeah. I we talked about it on the show before. I can't remember where I heard it, but I think baseball hasn't been the number one sport in America since like the 70s. And Manfred, he just reminds me of one of those guys that one of those like firms that buy up all these companies and then just milk them for what they're worth and drive them into the ground and then sell everything off and take the profits. It's yeah, it's horseshit. I hate that dude. I mean, because the hot stove was heating up for the Orioles. We signed Odor, and then boom, lockout. Like,
Yeah,
but we also signed Jordan Lyles, two former Rangers. That's crazy. But
yeah.
yeah,
It's like the Panthers and the Bills. They're just like trading players back and forth.
but there was some good news today. The I'll have to get the list because I didn't expect the list to be this long. But uh, the Veterans Committee voted today for I think they call it the Golden Era ballot, So 6 people are getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is awesome. Minnie Minoso, Gil Hodges, who people have been uh, beating that drum for a long time. Buck O'Neill should have already been in the Hall of Fame. Jim Cott, Bud Fowler, who I'm not too familiar with, and Tony Oliva, which two of the players are still alive. Tony Oliva and Jim Cott. I actually got Jim Cott's autograph earlier this year when he was still signing through the mail, because he had, I want to say, he stopped because of people were selling his autograph. I think that's usually one of the reasons why people stop. But I want to say he charged like $10 per autograph or something. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go. Huh?
Not bad for a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, not now. No, no, not at all. But I'm gonna have to go back through my cards and see if I have any. I think I have some Minnie Minoso and Tony Oliva autographs. Definitely don't have any Buck O'Neill. His autograph has always been fairly reasonable because he signed a lot up until he died. Gil Hodges is probably going to be a lot more expensive because I think he passed away, I want to say like 40 or 50 years ago. But it's cool to be able to get to see that. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't expecting that many people to get enshrined. And then we see all the other. It's Hall of Fame voting season, so all the ballots are leaking on Twitter, and that shit show is going on. Which I don't know, man. The more I just read baseball stuff, the more I kind of hate MLB. I won't say that I hate baseball because if you've kept up with my Twitter, the last week I have been opening baseball cards like crazy, just not American baseball cards. And I've been loving every minute of it. So, yeah.
But
But
yeah, I mean, it's just not a good time for the MLB period. I mean, it's just like kind of like a snowball of like one oh shit moment after the next almost with them. And even back in 2012, when I was going to the community college here, I was talking to one of the teachers that I had got to be really good friends with, and me and him were talking. And this was 2012, so I was like 24, 25 at the time, something like that. And we were talking, and he's like, "Do you like baseball?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm a big baseball fan." I was like, I watch Sunday night, Monday night, and Wednesday nights. And he was like, "Wow." He's like, "You're probably like one of 200 MLB fans under the age of 50." So, even that's, what, 10 years ago almost now. So even with that, that just kind of shows you that where MLB is headed and where it has been headed. And I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any like super long term effects where like, stadiums start seeing more seats empty and, less, I guess, sponsorships or less merchandise sales, that kind of thing. But they're heading in a pretty terrible direction, and they have been for a long time now.
I honestly don't think they care.
I would agree with that. It is.
You know, I mean, because I mean, they're still going to get their money. Because I mean, they have the TV deals, all that stuff. So yeah, I think. I mean, this is just me spitballing, but I think the owners could probably turn a profit even without any fans there. Uh, well, shit. I mean, we had the pandemic when there wasn't any fans. So I mean, shit, they would probably be like, here, we'll just sell some more cardboard cutouts, charge like $50 or something, and they would make their money that way. I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just it's frustrating because I plan a lot of shit around baseball, and I should probably stop because it's like I said, I was looking forward to January, Fan Fest, San Diego. And then I'm going to try and make it a regular thing where me and the kiddos go to El Paso for some minor league baseball. But hell, I don't even know if that. I know the minor league players don't have a union, but I think this still affects them somehow, right? Because where the hell are they going to work out?
It doesn't affect them at all. They
Huh?
all minor league stuff is still on the table at this point.
So does that mean they get access to the facilities?
And from what my understanding is, they do any negotiations that need to go on can happen. Players can speak to the organizations. Organizations can speak to the players. Players and organizations can speak to media about each other. There's no work stoppage or anything like that. So it's just, and to me that's weird how this would affect the actual MLB, big league organizations, but this has no effect on the minor league. And that was one of the things that I had read about where they were talking about. There was no context in this, so I don't know what it meant, but they were actually talking about extending spring training when the players already not happy with how long it is, and that was one of the big issues of like like we hate doing it for X amount of time, so you're going to add 1 to 2 weeks to that. And it just goes back to what you're saying. They just don't care. And we've talked on this before, and we've had minor league players, or former minor league players on here talk about how they just don't care. They don't care about the players.
No, no, and that's why the Manfred snap happened to supposedly uh, make life better for the minor leaguers, which we all know was a crock of shit and didn't happen. And then the leagues that were formed because of that was also a shit show. I think, well, that prospect league that took over replaced a lot of teams back where I'm from. That was a shit show from what I heard. Quality of play was absolutely horrible. I think your league though, with Burlington, the sock puppets, I think that was a little bit better, well run.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And that was a big issue here in Burlington when it was the Royals. They I don't remember much about them being the Indians because I was young during the '90s when they were here. But the biggest thing is I think twice that I can think of off the top of my head where the Royals drafted a first rounder and then they were sent to Burlington, and you almost couldn't find a place to park. You couldn't find a place to sit when they sent Bubba Starling back in 2012, I think it was. They sent him down there. They assigned him to the Burlington Royals, and the games are always packed. You had to get there early to find a place to park, and then I want to say it was 2014 or 2015 with Ash Russell. When he was starting, you couldn't find a place to park. You couldn't find a place to sit. You had to get there early. But that was so rare that they would send the first or second round to Burlington. So, I mean, I'm not knocking these fifth, sixth, seventh round guys. I'm not. Don't get me wrong, but you could pretty much show up at game time and take an hour to pick where you wanted to sit because there were so many open seats. And they genuinely didn't make the playoffs. They didn't make any, Appalachian championships or anything like that. They were always uh, middle of the field or bottom in the cellar. And with the sock puppets, they actually won games. They were putting up 14, 15 run games, and they were actually, kind of showing a spark because this is something that I've always got a lot of shit about. But true baseball fans, they don't want to see a 15 home run game. They want to see a 1-0 pitchers duel. They want to see a 1-1 in the top of the 10th or something like that. And of course, bomb after bomb is exciting. Don't get me wrong, but to, I want to see a 1-0 game just as much as I want to see a 15 run game. And the Burlington sock puppets seem to bring that spark that people wanted to see.
yeah, I like pitchers duels. I like it a lot. Yeah, right. Yeah, but those games, the games with a lot of home runs can actually get kind of boring, but then it turns into a shit show with position players pitching, stuff like that, because they're trying to save the bullpen and everything. But yeah, yeah, I don't mind the pitchers duels and stuff, and usually those games are a lot faster too, because they always complain about the pace of the game and everything. But if you're normally a pitcher's duel means that not a lot of guys are getting on base, not a lot of people are being walked. So that means the ball's in play or you're getting strikeouts, and that usually speeds it up. But yeah, I can. But me, I can sit at the ballpark all damn day. Usually, half the time I'm there before the players anyway, and I don't leave until the players leave. So because I'm not getting autographs and everything. But
Yep.
yeah, but shit.
And I wonder how it makes these big league players feel that they're the ones essentially bringing in the money and they're the ones drawing the fans and they're kind of pushed to the side in the corner and the door closed while the minor league players are just kind of out with the rest of the party having a good time.
Well, the shitty thing is it's going to be the player. It's going to get spun that the players are the bad guys. When it's the billionaires want more money, like I as I've gotten older, I've become more pro labor. As I've gotten old, because before when I was younger, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand like the money and the collective bargaining agreement and how I didn't give a shit that the minor leaguers, I didn't care about all that stuff. I just wanted to see the baseball. And if it wasn't being played, I would, I was like, well, it's got to be the players type thing. But no, because I mean, really, the players get treated like shit. Well, not not in the big leagues, but I mean, can you fault them for trying to get as much money as they want or as they can get? Because what is it? The first 6 years of your career is pretty much controlled by the owners. They can manipulate your service time. Uh, yeah, just all the shady shit that the owners do.
And
But
that's and that was a big thing in it was what they're wanting to discuss now is being paid more for those first 3, 4, 6 years. And because a lot of MLB players, once they hit that 30, 32 age, they're kind of declining. Not obviously not true for every case, but on the average, when you look at it, the first 4 to 6 years is, kind of when they're in their prime and when they really are, bringing in the fans and hitting those balls over the green monster and, you know, getting over with the fans and all of that. And then by the time 4 to 6 years come, that team has signed another player that just kind of fills that spot that's younger and has a little bit more rapport with the fans. And they want to be paid more in that 4 to 6 year time frame, and then worry about the rest down the road. But they don't want to be paid the league minimum 4 to 6 years in, and then by the time they're 33, 34, they can't even play anymore, and they're not getting anything at that point.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, what was it last year? They cut the draft in half, more than half, I think. It's only what, like maybe 20 rounds.
Yep.
So where they didn't take that signing bonus money and give it to the players. I mean, that's just more shit for the owners to save. And supposedly, I would think some of that money was supposed to go to the minor leaguers. Didn't happen. Still not happening. I know some teams. Well, I read something like a month ago that I think all teams are providing like housing for the players, and they're not going to hit them with like the fees when they have to break their lease when they get moved to a different level. So I don't know. We'll see. But one of the good things about this is folks like us that like TTM, the players are a lot more time at home.
They're at
So
home.
yeah, if you can nail down those home addresses and get some good ones, yeah, start writing like crazy because I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start maybe taking some more chances with current players and see what I can do there. Because usually, it really, oof, I haven't really gotten many current players autographs in the past couple years because no spring training and then minor leagues, COVID, maybe not allowing autographs, So yeah, I've been like a baseball hermit lately and haven't haven't done much with it. So yeah, I have a couple rolls of stamps that definitely need to get used.
Yeah, and I mean they're all sitting at home, so I guess it just depends on how they feel about how long terms live on cardboard, if they'll sign or not.
Yeah, right. Hopefully it'll hopefully since they have more time, they'll be like, yeah, maybe I won't throw this dude's letter away this time.
If they
Yeah,
want that viewership, they'll because if you throw away my TTM or don't send it back, I'm not watching you. So that's
yeah, yeah.
that's incredibly
Oh,
false. I'm just kidding
oh,
on
it,
that.
if I lived by that mantra, then I would not watch any baseball because I'm sure there's stuff that has gotten trashed to mine, especially some of the guys that I keep writing over and over. Because I'm hoping that one will sneak through and I'll get it because I've been trying to go hard on that 2008 top set. So yeah,
Yeah, as soon as they open the mail and then top left corner they see Justin SCH, they just toss it.
yeah, right, yeah. Well, sometimes I change it up though because I got those stickers with my return address. Sometimes, if I've written that player before, I'll handwrite it. So
At
yeah,
least throw them off a little, or at least try to.
yeah, I try to because I don't know if there's any people out there that really keep track of what you send. Even the people that have their limits, like Richard Petty says, to only write him twice a year. Uh, I think I've stuck with that though. I don't think I've written the King more than twice. I have sent him way too much shit, and he has signed it for me. And then people like Rafael Palmeiro that he will sign your cards, but also tell you, hey, this is how much I charge. So next time Venmo me this. But I'm like, well, you already signed everything that I wanted to get signed. Sorry, Rafi.
I
So
know the Payback Foundation of Peyton Manning's. If you send something there, they've got a database. And if you try to send something else, they will absolutely kick it back with a letter. Like we've already got you in our database as having sent something. So nope.
really,
Yep. And when I wrote to him back in like 2013, I wrote to the Payback Foundation, and they didn't have anything like that going on. And so, they just got bombarded with mail. And Peyton Manning's like, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to be a dick about it, but I'm going to be a dick about it at the same time.
yeah, yeah, right. But it's there was something that I wanted to talk about though, as far as autographs. So and get your opinion on this. So all of my autographs are stored in binders because I like to look at them and I'm always adding. So I have my autographs in each binder, or all my autographs are sorted alphabetically by last name, but it's not like in alphabetical order by the last name because then that would just be a shit show and take me forever. So anybody's name that ends in A goes with A, right? So but I also in those books I have my Japanese autographs and I have my Taiwanese autographs as well. And I'm thinking, do I make new binders for books that have the Japanese autographs and then the Taiwanese autographs and then my Korean autographs? Though for some reason I put those all in soft sleeves and put them in a box. But I had to do that because I was getting all these cards signed in South Korea, and supplies are really hard to come by. I like the 9 pages, at least the kind that I like. I'm kind of bougie with my pages. It's I like the Ultra Pro Platinum or whatever,
Mhm.
you know, because I'm like, oh, what if the plastic of the pages isn't up to standard and it messes up the autograph? I don't know. And then they also I never seen any of the binders because I'm like I like the baseball binders, you know, the Ultra Pro
Yeah,
binder, everything. So I'm wondering if I should do that and make more binders for those cards. What do you think?
that's if I were you and I were already in the position that you're in, then that's what I would do. I would go church and state, keep them all separate.
Yeah, yeah. But I'll have to get more binders because right now I'm up to what am I up to? Shit, I think 22 binders just of regular autographs. So, and they're the thick binders too, man. But a lot of times, like, uh, since a majority of my Twitter and social media anymore is all foreign baseball cards, it's like, oh fuck, I got to go through and try and find this one obscure Korean guy that played a year in the Astros minor league system, the show people. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's the other conundrum. Korean, he never played in the KBO though. But do I put his cards with the Korean cards? Because
Yeah, that's fun.
do I start sorting the Dominicans from the Venezuelans or shit like that? But I think the majority of the guys that played in the states in the minors, whether they're Korean or Japanese or Taiwanese, they all usually go back home and end up playing in their respective leagues.
Mhm.
So I think I could get away with that. I don't know. It's one of those things that not keeps me up at night, but just the stupid shit you think of when you should be sleeping.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say when you should be remembering to pay your water bill online or something like that, you're thinking
Yeah.
about what you do with your cards.
Yeah, like where am I going to put those Kim Ha Sung cards?
Yeah, I've got some. I've got like two wrestling sets in the mail, and I'm like, oh god, like, do I want to start a binder? Do I just want to put them in the 3 row? Do I want to put them all in sleeves and top loaders? Do I want to just do sleeves? Like, I don't even think either of the sets have been shipped yet, and just like going over and over. It's like
Binder. I think binders because you want to get them all signed, right?
I would definitely love to. Yeah, one of the sets I'm getting in is, I mean, the value is not bad. It's 32 cards for $25, and I really bought it because one of the wrestlers in it, she wrestles around here a lot. She's been on NXT, she's been on Dark. Um, I think she's gonna take off. May not be in the next year or two, but she wrestles around here enough that getting that thing signed should be no problem. And that was basically the sole reason for purchasing that set because she was in it.
Yeah. What set is it? And did you get it from High Spots?
No, it's Ignite Pro Wrestling, and I got it from their website. I seen somebody else post that they had got it, and I like enlarged the images, and I'm looking at all the wrestlers in it, and probably like 80% in that set I've never heard of. But then I saw the one of her name's the Dream Girl Ellie, and knew exactly who she was, and yeah, I've kept up with her since I got into independent wrestling for like 6 months now. I've seen her on TV, I've seen her in person, so getting that thing signed should not be a problem. And that was pretty much my whole reason for getting that set because I could at least get that one card.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it would sometimes like sets like that. It's almost cheaper just to buy that one card or just to buy the set than the one card because it's like, oh well, hell, this one card's $10 shipped. Why don't I just spend another $10 and get the whole set? So
Yeah, and that's a big part of the indie wrestling cards is Most, if not all of them, come with a chase card or a rare card,
Oh,
and yeah, it's like usually like one of the sets I got. I can't remember exactly how many cards it is, but you're guaranteed one rare card, and there's four rare cards, so you get one of four rare cards. The print run of the whole set is 100, so you get one of four rare cards. That kind of leads you to believe on the math that the rare ones have a print run of 25 or less. So it's for 20 21 bucks shipped is like a no brainer.
yeah, yeah, definitely a good deal. And you just never know. With like the indie card sets, some guy or gal can take off, and then that set becomes super popular, but it's also super hard to find too.
Exactly, and that's what makes a lot of these cards rare of like MJF and Darby Allin and AEW is there's indie card sets from like 2017, 2018, from right before AEW took off and they got signed to them, that they have cards in those sets, but the print runs are so limited you can't find them now. And then when they do surface, they surface for several $100s. When the sets drop, they're like 10, 15 bucks or something like that.
Yeah,
And yeah, and the indie scene, their cards, their print runs are usually very, very small. And with the increasing demand and a small print run, the one set that I picked up last weekend, it sold out, and from what I could tell, it sold out in less than 2 minutes.
man, that is fast. But yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not like these dudes are going to Tops to get their shit printed. It's probably some local printer, and then once they print it, it's done most likely. You know,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, the ones that I bought, they put that in the caption. They were literally like, once this sells out, it's done, it's gone, it's never going to be printed again. They're not going to print a series one, sell out, and then go back to the printer and be like, oh my god, these things sold out so fast. Will you make another one? And then like 6 weeks later, series one pops up again. Then
yeah,
IndyCar's really good about that. That the print run is the print run.
yeah, yeah. But I think that kind of does it for the show, dude. I gotta go eat dinner and then start to get the little one ready for bed. Watch a little bit of football.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Probably watch a few minutes of football, take a shower, and hit the hay.
Yeah, I don't think the Chiefs are blowing them out too much yet because it's Chiefs Broncos. I don't think the Broncos are any good, are they?
Nah, I think they're pretty mediocre this year.
Yeah, and then they traded Von Miller too, right? But he was already hurt anyway, so
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I haven't heard any yelling, so I think the game's going okay. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.